Hi guys, today we're going to talk a little bit about your senses at work. Maybe a foreign concept for some of you, but our senses are part of our bodies and our being, and work is, I think, a reality for most of us. And even if you don't work, you still operate in an environment. But let's continue with work. So in any day-to-day work environment, we see, we hear, we smell, we taste, we touch, we move. And our brains are constantly being stimulated by these stimulation within our space. We know if there's a lot of noise around, a lot of people screaming or yelling or talking, that causes distractions. If there's distractions, then we don't focus that well. But this is particularly relevant for people who are sensory avoiders, who's got low neurological thresholds. In other words, their brains are wired to such an extent where they experience distractions a lot more intensely and a lot more frequently, and they are being impacted by it a lot more. Sensation seekers, people with high threshold on the other end, experience it differently. They actually thrive on activity, busyness, noise, stimulation, and they usually are the ones being noisy or making the noise. I'm just using noise as an example, but we also have visual stimulation, touches, how close we are to other people, having to move between activities. Smell and taste has got taste has got less of an impact on work performance, but smell definitely has, because we know if there's foreign or bad odors around, it's immediately going to impact our level of alertness, our level of focus, our level of concentration, and it can actually create quite negative feelings for people. The important thing here is each one of us are wired differently. We respond differently, slightly differently to the stimulation in our environments. And a noisy, busy, engaging, stimulating environment will work really, really well for a seeker, but that exact same environment will actually not work for a sensory avoider at all. And then vice versa, when we sit in a contained, controlled environment where there's not too much activity going on, it's predictable, those environments typically work really, really well for a sensation avoider, people with low thresholds, because this is just how our brains are wired. And obviously there's this whole continuum of threshold types that we have. So I'm just using the two extremes because it's just easy to, understand that. But important to remember that environments really matter. One environment could work great for one person, but exactly that same environment can be detrimental for someone else. And why this has become so important, and we want to draw that into the hybrid working space, because all of us are now, we're working from home, we're going back to the office, we're hybrid, then we're at home, then we're at the office. What do we do? How do we manage this? There's a lot of confusion, or I think new challenges that hybrid working has brought up for us. So this is just a key insight that we want to offer to you listening at the moment, that staying at home or working from home really, really works well for our sensation avoiders, people with low thresholds. Going back to the office and being surrounded by stimulation and activity works really, really well for our sensation seekers. Now, there's obviously variations to the rule. You might want to work at home, but your home isn't conducive. The environment might not be conducive. So there's obviously exceptions to every rule and many variables to work with. But really, really important to remember that your workspace has got capacity to elevate your brain, your focus, your attention, and your energy so that you can work better, or it can actually detract you from delivering your best quality of work. So thanks for listening, and that's all for sharing for today, guys. Till next time, cheers.